Posers beware, you're in for a scare. That's right, live from the studio, folks. I'm Jimmy Selesky, and today we are bringing back the Poser Exposer. And this week in Poser Exposer news, I would like to address a multitude of people because this is more than just one person, guys. This is something I've talked about in the past. I've gotten in arguments with my own friends about this very issue. And before we dive in to exactly what it is I'm talking about, I want you to watch this clip. Now, this is not new necessarily. This is a couple weeks old. This is ancient Chinese history. This is, of course, where Marjorie Taylor Greene, MTG, Jasmine Crocket, and AOC kind of all get into it on the House floor in the middle of this hearing. And again, you've probably seen it, but I want to focus on a specific angle of this that just came to my attention recently, which is, now that I'm thinking about it, this is a great clip for us to analyze and dig deeper into, not just because I find all three of the women in this clip insufferable. All three of them. Jasmine Crocket, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's technically like on my side. She's a conservative. I really cannot stand her. Like, she's kind of been back in the news even more recently because she was grilling Anthony Fauci the other day. And anybody who follows this channel, you know me and Anthony Fauci, we don't get along. You know, I don't like him. He doesn't like me. That's just how it goes. So technically, when she's grilling him, I'm supposed to be like, fuck yeah, MTG, let's go. But I don't know. She's so phony to me when she was wearing the Trump hat and the big red jacket and screaming shit out at the State of the Union address. She's very much a performer. And her character is the red-blooded American woman who just wants to drain the swamp. She's just trying to be like female Trump, and it just doesn't work for her. It's annoying. And then, of course, AOC, who is just notoriously insufferable on many levels, although I will admit, I kind of have a hate crush on her. As does every guy. Come on, let's be honest here. I give credit where credit is due. But let's watch this clip, because this is not only one of the most embarrassing moments in U.S. governmental procedure history, and also one of the most hilarious moments, but it's one of the most telling moments.
Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about AG.
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about.
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No, ain't nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
Mr. Chairman,
That's beneath
would
even
you
your
please
screen.
regain
That's
order
beneath
of
even
your
you.
committee.
Order.
I would like to move to take down Ms. Greene's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack the physical appearance of another person?
Are your feelings hurt?
Her words down.
Aw.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play.
Baby girl? I don't think
we are going to
so.
move, and we're going to take your words down.
I second that motion.
You agree to strike your words?
Yeah. I'll
Okay.
agree.
Ms. Greene agrees to strike her words.
I believe she
Chair
should
recognizes
apologize. No.
Mr.
She
Perry.
should apologize.
Okay, hold on. Then after Mr. Perry's going to be recognized, then Ms. Greene
I'm not
has 4 minutes and
apologizing.
21
Well,
seconds.
then
Okay,
you're
reserve
not
the right to
striking your
object.
words.
I am
Mr.
not
Perry.
apologizing.
Now let's go. Come on, guys.
Why don't you debate me?
Mr. Chairman, the
It's
minority.
pretty self-evident.
You're not.
Yeah, you're not.
out of order.
You don't have enough
You're out of order.
intelligence.
Chair recognizes Mr. Perry.
Okay, move to strike
I'd like to
I
strike
move to
those
strike the
words
lady's
as well.
words.
I would like to strike
The
those
lady's
as well.
words again.
That's 2 requests to strike. That's 2 requests to strike.
Oh, they cannot take the words.
There's another motion to strike her words again. Please
All right.
get
Okay.
your members under
Here's
control.
the correct apology. Ms. Greene, do you agree to unanimous consent to strike your words?
I repeat again for the second time. Yes, I'll strike
right.
my words,
That-
but I'm not
all right.
apologizing.
Without objection.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
What now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's
Hold on.
part of
I'm trying to find clarification on what quality.
Chairman, motion to strike
I had no
those
idea
words.
what you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier, literally just.
You just voted to do
Y'all did it first, so you don't want to talk about it.
voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get
Okay.
clarification.
Look at, calm down. Calm down.
No, because this
I
is
would
what
like to
y'all
get
do.
through proceedings.
So I'm trying
Hey,
to get
Miss
clarification.
Crockett, you're not
Y'all wanna
recognized.
play
Miss
games.
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your
And
yelling.
You don't want
calm
me to
down.
Be,
Can
no,
you please calm down?
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Chairman, Mr.
Okay. That was not women in politics' finest moment. I'm sorry. Look, that was just, I hate to be harping on women this week, but that also, ladies, was not very good for the brand. And I love how the men in this video, which by the way, I didn't realize that everyone in this video was annoying. It's not even just the women. I said that I find all three main chicks in this to be insufferable, but there's Jamie Raskin in there. That guy's from my state. I did a whole video on him last week about how much he sucks. He's in there too. All the guys are just sitting there like, oh my, what is going on? This, like, Russia and China are shaking in their boots watching this go down. And it's like this event, this moment, it's hard to imagine that exists without women in politics. It's hard to imagine. 1776, the founding fathers. And Ben Franklin's just in there like, where'd you get that cheap-ass wig, George Washington? George Washington's like, what? At least I don't wear dusty-ass bifocals, bitch. Thomas Jefferson chirping in from the back. Baby girl. Baby girl. Don't even play. We're trying to fight the British here, guys. Can we get it together? But in 2024, MTG, AOC, Jasmine Crocket, they're just going at it over like outfits and accessories and body appearance. Come on, ladies. Come on. But whatever. That happened. That's not why we're here. You've heard plenty of people commentate on that. We get it. That was funny. However, I saw this video on Twitter. And this is Jasmine Crocket from another interview. Jasmine Crocket is the black woman in this video. And that's another good thing about this video. You got a white lady, a Latina lady, and a black lady. So it's like all across the spectrum, and each one is pretending to be a caricature version of who they are. And I noticed this more and more, and this video that I'm about to show you now, it's a clip. It's a mashup clip of Jasmine Crocket from that argument we just heard, and then the same lady, Jasmine Crocket, from some like interview. I don't know when it took place or what it's about or whatever, but just listen to the difference.
In my mind, I'm thinking, I just got to Austin and I had to meet 5 people to get here. I don't know about this.
So y'all don't know what white privilege looks like, but I'm gonna show you a little bit of something.
It's a huge responsibility. You know, the congressional seat is over 4 times as large as my House seat.
I'm trying to get clarification.
Look at, calm down. Calm down.
No, because this is what y'all do.
And I was just starting to get into the rhythm of doing constituent services.
They send them to Texas, they send them to Florida. Every deplorable state that we can think about, they usually coming out of y'all's think tank.
There was someone that talked to me and said, in fact, a former ambassador in the Clinton administration.
Please calm down.
Don't tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all talk noise and then
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
He said, Jasmine, what you have to realize is that if you are really going to make change, it's not going to be in the Texas House. He said, you did a great job playing defense, but you have a chance to play offense.
If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
Motion to
I had
strike
no
those
idea
words.
what you just said.
The management, so to speak, changes. It's not just always one party that has everything.
I did
You
it
just
first.
voted to do
Y'all did
it.
it first, so you don't want to talk about it.
voted to do it.
Order.
He said, if you really want to make real change, you really need to consider it.
Because if I
Look, Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
send
talk
outside to
shit
take a break
about
for
her,
5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Chairman.
Interesting. So what I believe we just watched was two entirely different versions of the same person. And I guess my question is, which version of Jasmine Crocket that we just saw is the real Jasmine Crocket? You see, there's a thing in the black community referred to as code switching. Code switching is what they'll describe as, when you go into a job interview or you're in a formal setting of some sort or in school or whatever, you're able to put on your, I guess, for lack of a better term, your white voice. Talk like that or whatever. But then when you're around your friends and your family and whatever, your own people or whatever, you just talk like your regular self. So you're switching codes. You put on your white voice when you need to, but otherwise you talk like yourself. So I guess there is a possibility that I just got to Austin, the Valley Girl version of Jasmine Crocket that was in that interview. Maybe she was code switching there. Maybe she was putting on this fake, Valley Girl persona, whatever she was trying to be. And then maybe the real Jasmine Crocket is you talking all that noise. Maybe that's the real Jasmine Crocket. And that's possible. She got angry during the altercation with Marjorie Taylor Greene. She dropped the act and just went, classic, Jasmine Crocket from St. Louis coming at you now. But see, I don't know. Because in either case, you're still playing a character, right? If you're actually the hood chick from St. Louis, but yet you pretend to be little Jasmine Crocket who just got to Austin and is so nervous. Everybody's so famous. I guess I never got the memo. Like, if that's your character, okay, well, you're still playing a character. You're pretending to be someone you're not. But at least that's, understandable. You're in politics, so you want to put on that hat or whatever. I get that. But you're still pretending to be someone you're not. But even worse, potentially, is that is the real you. And the talking all that noise chick in the argument, and when you're on the House floor, what if that's the character? And oh my God, if that's the case, then we have a major problem. So I don't want to put that on you just yet, but let's look at the stats. Let's look at the tail of the tape for Jasmine Crocket. We're going to get into AOC as well, don't worry. But let's look at the tail of the tape for Jasmine Crocket. Jasmine Crocket is a U.S. representative from Texas. She represents Southern Dallas County. She was born in St. Louis, which, okay, that's a check for the, talking all that noise, Jasmine Crocket. That's a check for her. St. Louis, similar size city to Baltimore, similar crime rate, everything. I can totally get on board with the idea that somebody from St. Louis talks street or whatever. However, interestingly, if you look at her schooling, she attended Mary Institute in St. Louis Country Day School. That's a private Catholic school. And she also attended an all-girls Catholic school, Rosati Kane. So her secondary education, as far as I can tell, according to her Wikipedia page, is private Catholic schools. At which point, when she graduated from high school, she attended Rhodes College in Memphis, Tennessee. I looked into Rhodes College. Rhodes College is a private liberal arts college. The tuition at this moment is roughly $60,000 a year, not including meal plans or whatever. So that's pretty expensive. Now, mind you, Jasmine Crocket would have gone to college, quite some time ago. I'm not saying it was $60,000 then, but this college is clearly an expensive institution. And then, of course, she goes to the University of Houston Law Center to get her law degree and begins practicing law, ultimately entering into politics. So that is Jasmine Crockett's background. She has a law degree. She attended an expensive private liberal arts college, and she attended private Catholic schools during her childhood. If I was to place a bet on which Jasmine Crocket is the real Jasmine Crocket, I would venture to say that the girl who talks like she went to private Catholic school, liberal arts college, and law school, that Jasmine Crocket, the girl who sounds like that, is probably the real Jasmine Crocket. Would you disagree? Maybe, but I don't think that's an unfair take. Maybe she's both. Maybe she is really the soft-spoken college girl type of vibe, unless you get her angry, at which point, you know, she's gonna take it back, keep it real. Well, not every one of those clips that we just watched in that mashup was from that altercation with MTG. There are clips that you could find all over the place in regular conversation. She had that voice on before MTG even said anything. So the whole like, oh, she just got mad. No, she is consciously, in my opinion, putting on one of those, and I think it's the ghetto one. I think she's putting on the ghetto thing, which is sad. It's sad. And also, if you're still hung up on the idea that maybe that could be, they both could be really her, I'm sorry, I don't believe that. One of those has to be fake. I don't think you can be both things. I don't get to do that. If I just came in here tomorrow, it was like, hey, what up, dog? Where to your mother? Yeah, anyway, it's live from the studio. You already know what it is. People are like, what is Jimmy doing? Oh, that's just also him. Jimmy is sometimes like that. He's usually like this, but sometimes Jimmy might start an episode if you catch him on a weird day, and sometimes the real Jimmy might be, hey, Hans, what's up, man? It's live from the studio, ese. Oh, yeah, live from the studio, yeah. Those are all me. That's all the real me, dude. Yeah, I can just do that. You can just do that. You know, right now it's the real me, but all those other guys were also the real me. It's just like, it's code switching, baby. It's code switching. Buddy, live from the studio, buddy. No, you don't get to do that. One of those people is fake. And we'll get into why that matters in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at AOC. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is a U.S. representative from New York. She represents the Bronx area. Now, AOC is in the video, baby girl, don't even play. Which is like, I heard somebody say the other day, that's like 2000s street talk. Oh, don't even play. That's like, what's that movie with Jamie Kennedy? The fucking, where he's the rapper? Holy shit. Malibu's Most Wanted. That's like Malibu's Most Wanted era type of hood talk. Don't even play. Don't hate. No hating. That's like 2002 hood. So already right off the bat, you're going like, okay, this chick is talking hood, but she's talking hood like she just got out of a time machine. But anyway, born in the Bronx, and at the age of 5 years old, her family moves from the Bronx to a small suburban town in Westchester County called Yorktown. Now, Yorktown is about, if I had to guess based off the Google Maps that I pulled up, about a half-hour drive away from New York City, which is fine. I'm not, whatever. Hey, whatever. I looked up the demographics. Yorktown is 91% white, 3% black, and the Hispanic number doesn't even really register. If I had to guess, I would imagine that AOC's family may very well have been the only Latino people in Yorktown when she moved there. But regardless, whatever, it's fine. She goes there, she finishes high school there, Yorktown High School, at which point she goes to Boston University for college, gets her bachelor's degree, I guess, or whatever. And then at that point, after college, she moves back to the Bronx to become a bartender and then ultimately pursues a career in politics at some point. So, okay, look, I know where you think I'm going with this, and you're kind of right, you're kind of not. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, you're going to claim New York, but you grew up in Westchester County? Wow, everybody want to claim New York, but look, I'm not one of those people. I'm really not. Because that conversation really comes down to context. People do this all the time in Baltimore. It's actually one of Baltimore's favorite pastimes is to call somebody out when they say they're from Baltimore and be like, and then say like, actually, you're from someplace in the county. Okay, people do it all the time. It annoys me quite a bit because, again, that conversation is very contextual. It depends on what you're trying to say when you say, I'm from Baltimore. Okay? For instance, I grew up in Towson. Towson is a suburb of Baltimore. My house where I grew up is about, if I had to get, I'd say about 2 miles up from the city line of Baltimore City. So it's a bordering suburb, very close, used to jog into the city and back all the time for wrestling workouts, whatever. But it is technically in the county, Baltimore County. And if I go to, Los Angeles or anywhere really, and I'm traveling around, I'm meeting people, oh, where are you from? I say, yeah, I'm from Baltimore. Obviously. What am I supposed to? I'm from Towson. I'm from Towson. Actually, specifically York and Burke Avenue intersection, if you're familiar with that area. No, I'm from fucking Baltimore, dude. Orioles, Ravens, heard of it. Obviously. And that's fine. And that's totally normal, and everyone gets it. And obviously, no, you're from the county. What county? What county? Baltimore. All right, shut up. It's in the name. We're good. We get it. But in that same line of thinking, if I was to be talking to somebody, maybe I'm in an altercation with somebody like, don't fuck with me, man. I'm from Baltimore. You don't want to mess with me, bro. I'm from fucking Baltimore. You know how we do over there in Baltimore. And then somebody was like, dude, what? You're from Towson. Why are you talking like I'm trying to be like, yeah, you saw The Wire. You know West Baltimore. We got the highest murder rate. Like, that's me, bruh. That's me. It's like, dude, that's not you. You're like, okay, yeah, you grew up in the Baltimore area, but you're not from fucking West Baltimore. You're not Omar, So in that context, if that was my purpose for claiming Baltimore, then yeah, I could rightfully be called out because now I'm taking on an identity that isn't my own. My identity is a kid who grew up in the suburbs of Baltimore, went to nice public schools, and had a perfectly fine middle-class upbringing. Where, I was close enough in the mix to have a very diverse group of friends. I didn't grow up in a 91% white community like AOC, but, it was still majority white, majority middle class, and that was my upbringing. And I don't deny that, and I don't try to claim anything outside of that. But in the case of AOC, when she puts on this, baby girl, this kind of like, I'm just Jenny from the block, Bronx chick act, it's like, all right, now I think it's a very reasonable critique to question if that's really who you are. If you're just a girl who says, yeah, I was born in the Bronx, my family moved us out to the suburbs, when I was old enough to go to school, And, but like we have, our identity is New York, and like I moved here after college and work at a bar, and like, and that's fine because that's true. That's like a real, actual, true thing. But to sit there and act like you're this Bronx chick from the streets of the Bronx, and you speak for, that's your community. It's like, I don't know. Look, if you're born somewhere, okay, technically you were born there, great. But at the age of 5 to move away, when you're 5, how long have you been talking? What, 2 years? How long have you been able to form a full coherent sentence at the age of 5? Maybe 2.5 years, maybe. So at the time your family moved from the Bronx, you had been able to speak for about 2.5 years. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the lifestyle of a 5-year-old, but you're not really going out, hanging out on the streets, meeting new people, going to parties, picking up on the culture. You tend to just spend a lot of time at home with your parents or maybe daycare or whatever, but that's like the average life of a 5-year-old. So kind of at that age, I can't imagine that having spent the first 5 years of your life in the Bronx had anywhere near as close to an effect on who you are as a person than the next however many years, the ages of 6 to 18 in Yorktown, New York, in the burbs. Is that a fair take as well? Just to make sure we're keeping this conversation honest. We talked about Jasmine Crocket. Is it fair to assume that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, her identity is much more shaped probably by the place she lived from the ages of 6 to 18. And then, of course, Boston after that for college. Then it has been shaped by the Bronx where she lived from the age of 0 to 5. I think that's a fair take as well. I really do. Perhaps her parents are down-home Bronx people and that affected, how she grew up and how her household interacted. I'm not trying to take anything away from her, but I am trying to just make sure that we draw a line between who she is and who she claims to be. And this is even more put on display when you consider that also according to her Wikipedia, she was known as Sandy Ocasio through high school and college. That was her name. Oh, that's Sandy. Sandy Ocasio. It was only after graduating college, moving to the Bronx or whatever, and I guess getting into politics that Sandy Ocasio became Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And I guess it shouldn't come as any mystery why she opted with that name when she got into politics. Because all of this, as we love to observe on this show, lumps together to form a very clear reality, which is that AOC is a fine person, I'm sure. She's attractive. She is charismatic. She has things to say. The things she says resonate with people. That's all well and good. But clearly, it is a conscious thought of hers to adopt or embellish certain aspects of who she is and lean into those things, or even just in some ways kind of fabricate them in order to portray a caricature that she thinks is more appealing to the people that she's trying to appeal to. So you have Jasmine Crocket, who, if I was a gambling man, I would venture to wager, is probably much more like the Catholic school liberal arts college degree girl than the street talking St. Louis chick. And we have AOC, who is probably much more like the, Sandy Ocasio in the suburbs and Boston University than she is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, girl from the Bronx, homie. I think that's a safe bet. And you know what? While we're here, MTG, with her, it's like, I don't know what she is, to be honest. Because I think she's just adopted this character of like, I think she's seen that the whole like Trump thing is really resonating with the Republican base. And so she's leaning into like, you know, drain the swamp. She's like an outsider, but not, you know, it's like she overdoes the whole, you know, Trump thing. She does. She tries to be like the female Trump, and it annoys me. And so she's playing this character, this red-blooded American woman, down home, just no bullshit type of thing. And it's like, maybe you are kind of like that, but the fact that you wear these attention-seeking outfits to the State of the Union address, and you're always in the headlines for starting up some shit on the House floor, and it's like, she's a headline politician, and she is trying very hard to lean into that character that she's playing. So all three of these women are playing a character. And what it culminates to is an embarrassing moment on the House floor, because we're not just watching three women get in an argument. We're watching three women play versions of themselves that are far more annoying get in an argument. And we're going to get into why that matters. Because this is about more than just exposing people for being posers. The poser exposer, the exposition of posers, is not just to embarrass the people pretending to be someone they're not. It's about attacking the deeper problem at hand, which is the reason they are pretending. But before we get into that, let's tap into another very familiar example, perhaps the most familiar example, a household name, a rapper, perhaps the most legendary rapper of all time, the late Tupac Shakur. Y'all remember Tupac Shakur, right? Thug Life. I hit him up. Fuck your bitch in the click you claim. Tupac. You know, gangsta. Tupac. We know Tupac. Well, why don't we pop on this video? This is an interview from 1988. Just recorded on a cheap video camera, it looks like. He was 17 years old at the time. I believe this is when he was attending the Baltimore School for the Arts, where he studied jazz, poetry, and ballet. And let's take a look at this thug life.
All right, that's okay. You can do that.
You dressed right for it.
And he said he's been a little chilly, so this is good for him. So somebody will enjoy the heat in here.
Okay, anytime.
Okay, my name is Tupac Shakur, and I attend Tampapai High School, and I'm 17 years old.
Okay, do you like being 17?
And it's like 17 is such a weird age. It's such a in the middle age. You're not 18 yet, and you're older than 16. So. But I like it. It's nice. It's like a learning stage for me.
Do you wish you could be 18 and when you get some more rights?
Well, 18 will bring lots of responsibilities that I don't want, but it'll bring respect that I feel like that's the only way I can get it. You know, I try to be as mature as I can be and demand it wherever I can get it. But 18 is like, you're an adult. You like today when I had to sign the release form, I felt so bad because I couldn't sign it myself. I had to go and get my mother's and all that. But
gangster. Whoa. Was that not the most hood shit you ever heard? Was that not the most thug life interview you've ever heard in your life? You know what that sounded like to me? That sounds like a 17-year-old black kid that studies poetry and ballet. No shade to that. He's obviously a very intelligent, articulate young man in this interview, which is a good thing, but apparently that's not a good thing, because this is Tupac as the rapper. And mind you, I consider this song I'm about to play you the second best diss track of all time. Hit 'em up. Second only to Mr. Grinch. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Arsenic sucks. Woo! Damn, that beef was settled. But coming in a close second place is Tupac Shakur's Hit 'em Up. And let's take a listen to this. This is the jazz ballet guy, remember?
I ain't got no motherfucker. So I fucked your bitch, you fat motherfucker. West side, bad boy killers. You know who the realest is, niggas. We bring it to. First off, fuck your bitch in the clique you claim. West side, when we ride, come equipped with game. You claim to be a player, but I fucked your wife. We bust on bad boys, niggas fuck for life. Plus, Puffy tryna see me weak, hearts I rip. Biggie Smalls and Junior Mafia, some mark ass bitches. We keep on coming while we running for your Jews. Steady gunning, keep on busting at the fools. You know the rules.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I can't even hate on the song, dude. Anyone you got sickle cell or something? I mean, I love that song. That song goes fucking hard. But that's not the point. We're not here to bump hard-ass music. What we are here to do is ask the question how that guy is the same as this guy. And the answer is one of them is playing a character. Which one of those versions of Tupac would you venture to guess is the character? Do you think it may be the version of him in high school where nobody particularly knows his name yet at all, and he's just a regular graduating senior at the Baltimore School for the Arts on some video camera recording in the year 1988? Or would you venture to guess that he's putting on a show when he is a multi-million-dollar record-selling recording artist, rapper, in the Hit 'em Up music video? Which version of Tupac would you say is the act? Well, I would venture to say it's the thug life, fuck your bitch in the clique you claim. He does a great job of it. But I don't see how that can possibly be the same person. I got in a big argument with my friend Scott about this. He was like, why do you care? People can change. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, people can change, sure. But people can also be posers as well. And I'm not convinced that people can change that much. I'm not convinced that you can be a almost gay guy in high school, ballet dancer and Shakespearean actor, and then become the hardest gangster on the West Coast, even though you're from New York and Baltimore. West Side. West Side. You know what's funny about both of these examples is that he repped California even though he was born in Harlem and went to high school in Baltimore. West Side, when we ride, come equipped. He got killed in a beef of East Coast, West Coast rap, where Biggie Smalls, representing New York, was allegedly somehow involved in the murder of Tupac Shakur, representing the West Coast, but also from New York. And then Biggie Smalls was shot as well. So look, at the very least, you can say both these guys died for their act, whatever you want to call it. So they committed to the bit. I'll give them that. They committed to the bit. But that doesn't change the fact that it very arguably was a bit. And maybe if you want to get real Duncan Trussell about it, man, we're just a speck of dust in a cosmic universe of endless perpetuality, dude. You want to get real fake deep about it and go like, maybe all life is, maybe we're all just committing to a bit. Maybe this version of ourselves, this identity, this ego that we exude on a day-to-day basis is merely just a character portrayal. And you're just a bad actor in your own play. Ooh, ooh, chakras and fucking Tiberian singing gongs in the background. Whoa, dude. Joe Rogan's like, that's crazy, man. Okay, fine. Maybe we're all just committing to a bit. but some more than others. And I'll give you one more example before we dive into why any of this matters.
He's like,
am I just here to talk shit? Is that what I'm doing? Is this just yet another episode of me playing the role of asshole guy? This is rapper Drizzy Drake and Lil Yachty on Yachty's show Moody Conversation or Future Moody. I don't even know what it's called. It's like a podcast, but they're in like beach chairs on a beach chilling. This is Drake and Lil Yachty, and this is a snippet from their conversation. This is probably about a year or so ago.
You walk into any room and you have just the most gigantic tits. Nobody can think about anything else other than whatever your gigantic tits, which is you're Drake. I remember this about this guy. I remember that about this guy. I bet this guy does this. I bet this guy does that. Like all the preconceived notions, they're just like, they can't see past the gigantic tits unless they talk to you. And then they're like, oh, wow, like you're actually like, I mean, your tits are huge, but you're super smart.
Right.
You know, or like you're really nice and kind.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to that's why I relate to girls with huge tits.
Yeah. You made me look down. You kept saying I had huge tits.
I wasn't really saying you. I don't know why I was looking too. That was crazy. I envisioned you as just fucking monster.
Just knockers.
Jug.
Just mommy milkers.
Yeah,
just here.
I know.
Yeah. All right, you can stop.
This interview got way more fun.
Yeah, it's getting dark. I'm telling you guys, it's getting dark. It's like it's Tim Drink. All right. Well, that's a very valid point. Man, women are something else.
Gee whiz, Drake. I'd say that women are really just something else. Oh, get out of town, Lil Yachty. No, that couldn't possibly be Lil Yachty. Yeah. And Drizzy Drake, y'all gonna match me, catch a body like that. Look, I like Drake. I listen to Drake's music. Again, the fact that they are playing a character does not make me dislike their music or their character necessarily. They do a good job. That's why they're famous. They are good actors. Leonardo DiCaprio is famous. All he's ever done is play a character. So, okay, we have nothing wrong in this society with actors. But we should call out an actor when we see it. It's hard for me to imagine that this could possibly be the same guy sitting there. Like, I had a friend that went to UMBC. It's a commuter school, University of Maryland, Baltimore County. You know, it's some people say it stands for "You must be Chinese." Hilarious joke that we used to say in high school because it's just like an Asian, nerdy white kid commuter. It's like a good college. It's like an actually good college, which is lame. Actually good colleges are lame. Don't you want to go to like Alabama and party and have sick frat parties and a football team that goes to the championship every year? That's what you really want. You don't want to go to a school where you actually fucking learn something, you nerd. But that's what my friend did, which is better than me. I just didn't go to college at all, barely. So he went to UMBC and they had fraternities. And the fraternities were, as you expected, lame. Nice guys, but just lame. They were just kind of like nerdy, dweeby, dorky guys, which is fine. I had a fine time hanging out with them. Their parties were cool, But these were the kind of conversations dude, you just sound like, it's like having like gigantic mommy milkers and everybody's looking at you. And that's what it's like to be It sounds like wannabe frat guys at a commuter college. That's what Drake and that is the level of fucking nerd that we're dealing with when you listen to these two in real life. Again, I had fun hanging out with those guys, and I have fun hanging out, I'm sure, with Drake and Lil Yachty. People, and again, this is another thing I brought up in that argument with my friend Scott, in the Tupac thing, about Drake. When is it appropriate to just say, dude, the guy that I am when I'm recording my songs is not who I really am in real life? And he actually says that in this interview. He actually says that part out loud. He says he meets girls and they're like, wow, you're so nice and smart. And I never would have imagined that, that you were actually like this. And he's like, I mean, it sucks because I don't know why girls just always assume that, I'm some like asshole or whatever. It's like, dude, because that's the character you play. Why would you expect anyone or girls or whatever that meet you to just assume that you're completely phoning it in when you're rapping and in your music videos? You know you're phony. That's fine, but they don't, so you can't blame them for assuming that the version of you that you put out to the public 24/7 is not the actual real version of you. This should not come as a surprise. So, again, I like Drake's music. I don't really listen to Lil Yachty that much. I'm sure he's fine, whatever. I like some of Tupac's stuff. I guess the question I'm getting at is, why is it that this is the character they portray? Because clearly, if you're putting on an act, there is a reason for it. You don't just put on an act for no reason, because it's harder to put on an act than it is just to act natural. So if you're going to go through the effort of living out an act, or at least portraying it to the public whenever you're in the public eye, there must be a reason for it. And the reason must be that on some level, you believe this character that you're playing to be more appealing than the true person you are. So in the case of Drake, this and look, Drake isn't that egregious about it. He doesn't pretend to be a gangster per se. He just puts on a little, he puts on a little bit more flavor than I think is realistic. Drake is not really that egregious about the situation. I will give him that. But he definitely puts on more than is really there, obviously. Tupac might be perhaps the most egregious example that I'm aware of. Tupac is an actor. And for whatever reason, he felt the need to portray this thug gangster guy as opposed to just being who he was, which is a highly intelligent, articulate, worldly, educated young man. And there's all kinds of theories for that. Oh, well, he had to play that character because people weren't going to listen to him otherwise. Maybe. Maybe. That's fair. I'm not saying Tupac's a bad guy for doing it. I'm just noting that it seems unfortunate that in every one of these instances, these people seem to dumb themselves down when they present themselves to the public. So you have, going back to Jasmine Crocket, you have a woman who is educated, has a law degree, went to Catholic school, all the above. And then when she's on the House floor, she's talking like an uneducated person. She's talking like a quote unquote ghetto person. Why? Why do you feel the need to present that to the public? Same thing with AOC. Look, you grew up in a nice suburb. You went to a great school. You went to a great college. And now you move back to the Bronx to be a bartender. You don't have to pretend to be the Don't even play. You don't have to put on your Cardi B act. Why don't you just be you? And you have to wonder that there's like some darker, deeper thing at play here. The idea that it seems to be primarily a thing that affects, I hate the term blank of color. I hate it. But in this context, let's just say communities of color, where it seems the most obvious in the hip hop industry that the hip hop industry purposely elevates artists that exhibit and portray the worst possible elements of black culture. And the people that listen to this music, and this was, and what's funny about this is something that Tupac was criticized a lot about at that time. Not that he was putting on an act, but that because he was an artist, he had a responsibility to set a better example, because a lot of kids listened to his music and they were going to, you know, see him as a role model. Because people look at people like Tupac or Drake or Lil Yachty that listen to their music, or a person like Jasmine Crocket. Girls look at her in politics and maybe they want to go in that direction too. And they see this dumbed down version of that person that isn't even actually who that person is. And they begin to associate that version of that person with the path to success. So the young black kids growing up in the hood that are listening to Tupac or Drake or whoever and hear them talking about this lifestyle and this value system, you know, fuck bitches, get money, that type of shit. And they go, okay, well, these guys are fucking famous. These guys made it. So clearly, this type of value system, this type of lifestyle is something that maybe I can model after. And then they find out, as most people do, that living that type of lifestyle only leads to shitty results. Because what they don't know is that even though these people that they look up to are playing the character of that lifestyle, that behind the scenes, they're not at all like that. They're astute businessmen. They're articulate, educated, insightful. But you don't see that side of them. So you never get the chance to associate those qualities with the actual qualities that lead to success. So you're actually robbing people of the opportunity to ever break out of the situation they're in, because you're not giving them the true keys to success. You're giving them the fake version of it. And they're believing in a lie, whether they know it or not. And yes, I do believe that's dangerous. So it's not as simple as, oh, these people are posers, haha, we expose you. You're not really as hood as you say you are. You're not who you know, whatever. No, it's actually worse than that. And there's a part of me that wonders if it's done purposely. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say yes. You know, if there's one thing that I absolutely can see the point of a lot of the pro-black people in America that say, like, you know, the music industry and this, that, the third are trying to pollute the black community and dumb us down or whatever. And it's like, well, you know what? I can't disagree with that at all, dude. It's fucked up. And it's being pushed by people in popular culture who glorify those elements of that culture that lead to this destruction of the culture. So you can call me racist for going on this spiel or whatever, but actually, I really do care about the black community. I actually do have black people in my life that I care deeply about, that I consider some of my closest friends. And I'm not sure if it's possible to break out of the situation that we're watching without addressing this reality that maybe sounds kind of not something you'd want to hear coming out of a white guy. Whatever. Okay, fine. I'm not the only person saying it. But when you're looking at what's going on, you look at those effects on the community and you look at why those are happening, then you look at artists who glorify this type of lifestyle that leads to this situation. And then you look at politicians who also play into the, you know, trying to sound less educated than they are, trying to purposely be less articulate, less composed, because for whatever reason, they feel like that's going to resonate better with the base. Oh, I'm a representative for South Dallas. You know, I'm Jasmine Crocket. I better put on my, you know, angry black woman face like Miss Potato Head. Which Jasmine Crocket should I be today? I don't know. Who's listening? AOC. I'm representing the Bronx, so I got to be Jenny from the block. I'm not Sandy Ocasio from Yorktown High School. No, I'm Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez from the Bronx. And it doesn't, I don't think it serves anybody. And there's got to be a reason why these people are the people that are elevated to the top. Because when you look at the music industry, when you look at Hollywood, when you look at politics, for the vast majority of cases, these are people filling a role and playing a part. That's what it is. Politics is for actors that aren't good enough to act. So you have these roles that exist, and then you have people that play those roles. The fact that they are the ones playing the role isn't necessarily as much on them, because they're just the ones that happen to be occupying the spot. But it's more of a testament to the fact that these roles exist. They exist for a reason by people who prop up the party. And the people who prop up the party or the record label or the whatever context you want to get into, the people who are actually putting that role in position to be filled, that are saying, we need this spot of a hood gangster black guy, thug guy, and we need this spot of a down home, keeping it real black chick from South Dallas. We need that spot filled, and okay, you'll play that role, great. The fact that they need those roles filled tells you that they want that to be the message that is put out. And whoever's willing to do it and do it well will make a lot of money in the process of playing that character. But the people who are writing the script, there's a reason why they wrote it that way, for the actors to play. So that's what I guess I'm really getting into. I'm not even blaming the actors anymore. I have no ill will or even try to take anything away from Drake or Lil Yachty or Tupac or, even Jasmine Crocket, AOC, whatever, whatever. I'm done with them. I'm done with them because it's bigger than that. That's my point. This conversation is bigger than the actors. This conversation is about the script. Because without the script, the actors have no character to play. So the question is, why did they write these characters into the script? Why are these the characters that they want you to consume, that they want you to have as your role models, that they want you to see as a beacon of success or something to strive for? And I think absolutely it's because they want to keep you stupid. Live from the studio, I'm Jimmy Selesky. New content on this channel every Monday through Friday. Hit the subscribe button. Leave us a like, leave us a comment. Till next time. Peace.